what the importance value is. This is the continued subject of frequency, density, and dominancy of plant species in the community, in the vegetation. So, I'll tell you first with the concept. Do you know that in all the community has a leader? Of course, include in our community as the human being. In your family, you have a leader, your father. In your environmental citizens, you have the leader, maybe Pak RT, Pak RW, or Pak Camat. And now, in a community vegetation, in a plant community vegetation, there is a species that dominates the community, that's playing dominant role in the community. What that species? This species we can determine by the higher of frequency, the higher of dominancy, and the higher of density. This is the reason why we count, why we sum the frequency, density, and dominancy before this class. This is our goal. But how to count, define, to determine the important value of a species in community, in the vegetation? We have to sum the relative density, relative frequency, and relative dominancy of that species. How to determine relative density? Relative density comes from the number of relative number of species divided by total density number of the all species, total species, timed by 100%. That's the relative density. And what's the relative frequency? Frequency of a species divided by total frequency of all the species timed by 100%. That is relative frequency. And what the dominancy, relative dominancy of species? Number of dominancy of species divided by total dominancy of all the species and timed by 100%. And now we sum, we add relative density, relative frequency, and relative dominancy become the important value of that species. The higher the important value of species, the dominant species in the community. So, dominant species come from the character that species spread everywhere, growth everywhere, and frequency become higher. So, growth everywhere and density become higher, and big trunk. So, the dominancy become higher because dominancy come from the trunk size of the trees. Okay, that's our subject today. We will continue it next week. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum.